All right, I am live and I am a minute early. All good. Finally on my laptop. Let's see. I guess I got a couple minutes to spare, so let me just check out on the other side to see if I can let me just check out. Oop, all right. What it looks like on the other screen. Cool. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Elvira, hello. Happy New Year. What's up? How's 2025 so far? You guys do anything on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? I'm on the laptop now, so hopefully, eventually I'll get a little more professional with this, but right now I think this will do. Hopefully, I wouldn't get like the connection is better on the through the laptop, so yeah. Yeah, me too. I actually got on the rooftop to check out the fireworks. It's so funny because most years I get like a really nice 360 view of, on the roof for the fireworks. But this year we had a lot of fog, and I don't think there was actually any major, like our city wasn't providing fireworks or something because even if you can't see it, you should be able to hear it. I don't know how much noise, like sound, fog can actually block out, but I actually had the camera set up there, hoping I could get like some nice shots. But it was all right, but the experience was a lot of fun. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hey, Jay. Coming over. Yeah, I recognize. Yes. Thanks for the shout out earlier. I hopped on to my friend over at the Urban Gardener, Enoch's live. He was doing it, I think it was like 11 this morning every weekend. And thanks for the shout out. Shauna Groves, hi. Happy New Year. You guys excited for the next growing season? I'm really looking forward to it because I have this new space that I get to play with, and it's gonna be like sun, and it's gonna be crazy because it's like it's like crazy sunshine all day up there compared to what I used to having now in like a more part shade garden. So it's gonna be like the extreme on the other end. It's gonna be a lot of fun though. Oh my goodness, Netherlands, that's so cool. And how many hours of daylight do you have right now in Netherlands? I'm excited for you too, Shauna Rose. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to be like finally getting to get some like sun-loving plants like veggies growing, like a little more fruiting stuff like tomatoes and zucchinis. Because zucchinis, I think they do okay out here in a couple of spots, but they get quite big, so the roof would have room for them to spread. Really, really excited about that. Hey, Absorb Nerd. Hello, hello. So I don't know if you guys know that my last name is Fan, like Phan, and that's why I was sort of just actually my god sister, who I call sister. She actually thought of that. She used to call me Wendy Fantastic, and then I started calling my dog Lotus Fantastic. So I thought I should just continue on and play with that. Fantastic gardeners. So that is the story of how that came about. Hey, chicken boy. And it's kitchen time. Kitchen. Oh, I can't say it. Kitchen time. I'm gonna try to bring you guys lower a little bit because I got a little bit of stuff to share with you today. I have to think an opposite. Yeah. So just want to show you guys some things that I'll be starting out growing this season. I'm super excited about because, like I said, with the new space and that winter solstice have passed. That means the longest night of the year has is gone. So now it's only gonna get brighter. Like we're gonna have longer daylight. So I'm really happy about that. It's always a dread to see the sun going down by like 4:30. Hey Rick, nice to see you on here. Hi Adam, hello everyone. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Woo-hoo. So exciting. I can't believe it. It's 2025. Like all the things, I think about like last year really has gone by really fast. I feel like it went by faster than other years. I don't know how do you guys feel about that? Any New Year resolutions? I I think this year for me is going to be a whole there there's always learning in the garden just as with life, and especially picking up like taking on the rooftop space is going to be like a whole new space, a whole new experience and probably a lot of challenges that comes along mainly because I think I'll feel more confident about it once I get the water up there. Um, yeah, I still I'm accelerating it. I probably feel the same, Jay. I mean, that's good in a way because it makes us really, I think, make the best of our time, the use of our time. And um, let's see here, perennials. Really, I love having, it's such a luxury to be able to grow your own food and flowers to decorate your home. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I'll probably do like annuals up there though, because I don't want to um, have way too much up there when I'm not around, So probably a few perennials that are more drought tolerant and other things that like normal watering would be like annuals I would grow. But I'm anyway, there's just so much more options now with like tomatoes and flowers and eggplants and all sorts of veggies and it's just so abundant. I can't I'm gonna tell you guys a really silly like dream I had, okay, the other day. Now, usually dreams are like you think of something better because it's like a place to escape, but this dream was actually opposite for me. I dreamt that I was really excited that I accumulated or I figured out that maybe I can start growing because I live in like a community, like townhome area. So that strip where it gets a little bit more sun than other places is on the driveway where everyone shares. So I dreamt that I was able to kind of utilize that driveway, maybe grow like shorter plants so like cars can just drive over it without running over my plants. But then there was this car that drove by and the plants got a little tall and he was confused, didn't know like how to navigate through. And I was like, oh crap, I have to clean up. I can't grow on this on the driveway. Oh darn it. And then I woke up and I go, oh, I have a whole rooftop. That was like super exciting. Like usually the dream is like better than reality, but that was not true in my case, and that was that was so exciting. So yeah, as soon as I get the water, like test out getting the water up there, I would be more comfortable and confident about it because I already like made a list. You know how we always love to dream about, well, not just dreaming, but just to plan out what you want to grow the next, like the following season. And I just love, like, I had such a fun time making this list for the rooftop, right? Different sections, and then starting to like design out as if it's just like a whole other growing space anywhere. And yeah, so as soon as I can start getting the water up there to test, everything would be good to go. Another thing is I'm looking into like a solar irrigation up there. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully that's gonna work out. That'll make everything so much easier, especially with no battery, yeah, like just solar. It's gonna be a lot easier. And I haven't looked into too much. Like I need to do actual measurements to figure out what kind of specific supplies and materials I need to get for like, for example, like the strap thing, the harness thing, the maybe drain tables, the drain trays, stuff like that. I need to really start to do some measurements up there, and yeah, and start ordering or looking for deals and stuff. So it's gonna take a little time, but I'm super excited. A lot of work to be done before you can like to prep it before you can actually start growing up there, even though I already have a few plants up there. Uh, but yeah, I'm so excited. Sunniest, nicest growing location on my property. Hey, exactly right. Driveways, like I wish we can grow something in the driveway. If you can, like, cut into the driveway, like, lower, and like, grow something below the driveway so the cars can just, like, drive right past it. I don't know. I'm leaning forward a little bit because I'm reading. Uh 5-gallon grow bags. Yeah, those are awesome. I'm going to try to maximize. I think the space on the roof is that I try to not accumulate too much weight in one space, try to spread it out. So I was thinking between 5 to 7 gallons max for me. But if I were to do like a 15-gallon, maybe I don't have to fill up all the way, so that I can actually have a wider space to grow. So like, I think of it like I think a shallow raised bed ish, like a rectangular shape or something, but something shallow would be better than something like small but tall. How do I say? Yeah, just try to spread out the weight. Plan on making growing tables. Making growing tables. I am not. So I'm looking for some used flood tables. I think that's what they're called. Flood tables. Uh, so I do need to build a little bit of like a stand for those flood tables, and then everything that I work up there is just gonna be. I'm trying to be as clean as possible, so it's going to be uh, plants like pots and stuff like that, or if I'm working with soil, everything would just be on top of the flood tables, and then it would just drain out. And I'm gonna try to figure a way. I think it should be possible drain it and then allow that drainage to go all the way out to like the lower garden. That would be really cool. Yeah, so flood tables are they're really pricey, so I'm gonna look for some used ones, and I think most people have this they just get excited about this idea, and then they try it out, and then they change their mind, so those are the best, deals you can get. They're pretty much new, and, they're like, I don't know, like 70% off or something crazy like that. Wait, what's the blood thing about? Cathars. What's what? Blood? Hey, Skylar. Happy New Year. Nice to see you here. Let's see here. Creeping time growing between driveways. Yeah, some lower, like, cascading herbs are good because they're hardy too. Mhm. Yeah, and I think rosemary, like the trailing rosemary would work too. They're really hardy. Some stuff can kind of grow in between the cracks, and then they'll find their way. I mean, the pavement is not that thick. Depends. I think some plants like rosemary, they can really reach and then start to spread out and just grow. Like the roots would just be under the pavement. In fact, my sweet potatoes, I've gotten like sweet potatoes growing like that, like under the pavement. They're gnarly. They're uh, yeah. So flood tables. That's right. So I need to measure out how many I can get because I'm gonna need my friend to help me. Need a bigger car to haul that stuff back. So I need to just figure out how many I need exactly and just do it as like just one time thing. But hey, Enoch. Yeah, thank you for the shout out. I'm happy. I remember. I do recognize some people on here. Some of you guys came from Enoch's live earlier at 11. Thank you so much for joining me. Tutorials and DIY yeah, so I'm not really utilizing the flood tables for its meant to, like, purpose. I'm kinda hacking, I'm just using it as, like, a table to drain, so I'm not gonna have them, like, flood, like, that would require a pump to, like, actually let do the automated watering that way. Maybe one day. I'm just gonna try to start simple right now because I think the more like, so much of all these new stuff is such a learning curve that I'm just afraid that the season's gonna be over by the time I figure out, like, all this stuff. I know there's, like, lots of tutorials and stuff, but I'm very slow when it comes to, like, learning, picking up new things, so I'm just gonna use that drain tray for catching excess water from the pots. Hey, Julius. Ooh, bell peppers, mulberries. Nice. Those are good to start. Yeah, because peppers are kind of slow growing. Mulberries, yeah. Polytubes and peat moss. Yeah, I love cloning plants. It's just so much faster that way, but definitely when you're growing like annual stuff like that, it's better to do what is it called? Yeah, planting from seed. But I do have some propagations going right now too. What kind of mulberries? That is so crazy. Yeah, 100, right? I wish I have the space for that. You're a mass production. You're a farm. Wow. Hi, Garden State Gardener. Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be growing some peppers up there. It would be fun to be able to get make like some fermented pepper sauce again. I'm looking forward to that. What else should I be growing up there? Oh my God, it's so exciting just thinking about that. Like what I have here today to show you guys is not even for the rooftop. Well, maybe the ginger will go up there. Yeah. Because like if you're growing in some things that are meant for the sun, if you're growing it in like lacking sun, it's not that it's impossible, but it's just going to be the rate like this of like when you can harvest it, the time is just going to be compromised by like 50% or even twice as long. So I'm gonna yeah get the ginger up there. Maybe just where there's like a small section that has like some shade, provide like part shade. Maybe I can put it up there because yeah, it'll be nice and hot up there for sure. The temperature up there is so extreme. It's currently it's warmer in the daytime, like warmer than the ground level, and nighttime is definitely chillier. Like the temperature is just more extreme. So it'll be a challenge. It'll be interesting. John Kohler went up there. Yeah, he went up there. He's like, "Oh man, this is nothing like Vegas." If you guys, those of you who don't know John, he has a channel called Growing Your Greens, and he grows out of like Las Vegas, the desert, arid climate. So I said that, "Oh, this is going to be kind of like growing in Vegas, on the rooftop." And he's like, "Oh, he doesn't think so. He thinks it's not as challenging as Vegas." So that kind of takes a bit of I think a bit of I'm a bit relieved hearing that. It was hot though when I was up there in the winter to create harvest when you I know it's it's so crazy to I mean it's just the connection you feel, with like, the love and the time, the effort, and the s if you think about maybe even there's challenges growing, throughout the time you're nurturing this plant and, like, from where you started to, like, taking you to the day of harvesting, it is quite wonderful, and definitely feel the love when you make the food, and it also motivates you to eat healthier and get more creative with your food just because, like, honestly, you would what was it? You would cherish, you would appreciate your food a lot more, just in general when you start growing your own food because you just know of how much like labor there is that you poured into it too. And, yeah, you start to appreciate more, I think, not just the food that you grow, but people that share them or just growers in general around the world. And I think especially in, like, a small scale farms and farms that are in, like, developing countries that they don't have that, um, luxury, that they can't get these big machineries to do it. It's just everything is by hand and, it's, uh, it's a lot of work. What's everyone's favorite plant? Hmm, like only one? Or can we say at least like 5? One favorite plant? Uh, I know, right? It's hard to be wasteful. You definitely learn not to be like just more appreciative and not be wasteful. Favorite plant. It's hard to pick. That's why I ended with so many in the patio space. I am going to tell you that I'm really looking forward to hopefully this the Barbado cherries would like the rooftop because it's be more sun because that's like a really high vitamin C fruit. It's a tropical fruit, like a tropical cherry. And if you wait for it to get really ripe, it's actually quite sweet and it's very tropical and fruity. It's really good. So that's one plant I'm really looking forward to seeing it being bountiful. Mm, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say favorite. What are your favorites, you guys? Kukutse. Oh, yeah, those were fun to grow. I had so many one year. It was crazy. We got sick of eating them. And then family and friends got sick of eating them too. But they were fun to grow because they're like baseball bats. When they dry, they're fun. I'm really excited about the different varieties of tomatoes that I can grow too. Uh, Yeah, like the Black Beauty, the really rich purple, almost black ones. I'm really excited about Sun Gold. It's not an heirloom, but it's one of my favorites just because they're just so sweet and, a little bit of acidity at that, like, that sharp taste at the end is really good. They seriously taste like candy to me, so, that would be really exciting to grow on the rooftop. Uh, Sunflowers. I love the teddy bear cultivar of sunflower. They look like they're just a ball of love. Really excited about growing that, but that's gonna be too tall for the rooftop, I think. I'll figure out a space for it. Maybe the parkway. Hi, Jersey girl. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Welcome. Hey, Joe. What's up? New Year's 2025 has been pretty awesome so far. It's actually been quite chill doing some work and some planning. I haven't ordered, I need to measure out this rooftop so I can order some supplies for it. So I can't really do too much on there right now. But yeah, it's been calm. It's been chill, you know, making short trips to see my friends. Not too much going on yet, but I'm really excited about, uh, you know, upcoming field trips. I'm gonna be going to Asia later on. So and then yeah, I still got like a couple of talks I need to write about because I'll be speaking at a couple of gardening events. Oh, so I have work to do. But yeah, it's been great. Yeah, but I am gonna be I would like to look into some, yeah, dwarf variety of sunflowers, but the teddy bear one, I don't think that one's can be dwarf. That one's really cool, though. I really love that one. Yeah, Black Beauty takes long to ripen. Thanks for the heads up, Adam. And something else, I think the more yellow tomatoes would be good. What was that one of them that was called something pineapple? That one that looked kind of like a tie-dye? That'd be really cool. And I like sweeter, uh, forget what I was saying, tomatoes. So that's another one. Chocolate cherry sunflowers. Oh, those are cool. I grew those before. They're cool. Yeah. But you just reminded me, I wanna grow some chocolate daisy flowers in the on the top because they're, like, drought tolerant, they love the sun, and they smell like chocolate. Seriously. So I think it'd be good to, like, get some flowers growing up there, also especially for not just for my own enjoyment, but for the pollinators. That would really help me out so I don't have to, like, really think about needing to go up there every day to, um to pollinate, especially because I'm really excited about growing melons. Maybe just let them, like, sprawl around the rooftop. Melons, they love sun, and, vines are good. I think one of you guys suggested vine last time, so melons, stuff like that. Will, they're lightweight, but they can also cover and maybe keep the roof a little cooler. Also, will be like an insulation where the second story is probably going to be a little cooler. So very cool, multifunctional. Hopefully, it works out as planned. Yeah, gotta encourage the pollinators. The more they come help, the less I get to just enjoy the harvest. What kind of melons? I think I'm gonna try that French variety again. I forget the name. Baker Creek has it. They're, like, more smaller cantaloupe tasting, I think, but it's, like, a lot more fragrant. And then there's this other heirloom. Goodness, I'm so bad with the names, guys, I'm sorry. That I also had from the Heirloom Expo. I brought one melon back, and it tasted kind of like a was it like a kinda like a honeydew? But it was still crunchy, but still really flavorful. Because sometimes melons, by the time they get, like, really fragrant and, like, juicy and flavorful, they have to be soft, and I don't mind the soft part, but sometimes I do enjoy it being, like, nice and crisp also, and that one offers something like that. And then squashes, I have a taro flavored squash. It's like one of the Taiwanese varieties. I'm really excited to, grow something like that also. Adopting a hunting voice tone exude. Wait, what, Jay? Adopting a hunting voice tone exude must ascend my upper garden. Orchids saves ground space. Yes. Yeah. Maybe some sort of like shade-loving flowers or orchids or air plants, and what are the other ones? Lots of leafy greens and herbs for the downstairs. Oh, mushrooms, yeah, mushrooms, something like that. So, yeah, like, now I'm saying I'm excited that I can move some stuff up, to the top, and then the ground space that's a little more shade can kinda, like, loosen up some room. If there's a little more room, maybe that will allow a little more light for some plants to grow better as well. But you say that, but then you're gonna be like, "Oh, let's bring more plants in because there's a little more room now." Fragrant and juicy, yes. Walked wait, what have I walked? Oh, yes, melons. Hey, Marco, what's up? Marco. Ooh, are you from Australia? London, UK. I'm trying to remember you guys. Hey, I remember you from Alaska. JT Junior. JT Junior goes, yeah. I'm learning. I'm really bad with names, but I kinda remember your stories and, like, locations. Yeah, what other melons? Yeah, melons I'm really excited about because I think, quite honestly, as much as I enjoy growing herbs and fragrant herbs and leafy greens, it's just the joy and the difference between growing, like, picking your own greens than and, like, when, like, fruits, like a really nice tomato, juicy, sweet fruits, watermelon, melons, um, that I mean, just because you can really enjoy that, just cutting it right there when you pick it, and it's just enjoying that, um, nothing can beat that, so, melons, I'm really looking forward to growing melons. So crazy, in Alaska, you guys so I'm assuming once you set, like, a hoop house or something, like a polytunnel and grow and there should be a lot of light that you guys can grow, like, some crazy big stuff, just so much light, as long as you keep them warm. I heard somewhere that they grow, like, above the volcano, and so it almost acts as like a greenhouse effect and keeps it warm. Super crazy. Like, just utilizing these, what you have, the space you have in the natural environment to really boost the growth of certain things is really cool. Yeah, in the UK, when you guys smaller ones so that they ripen faster, and, yeah, and maybe, like, sugar baby l is that what it's called? The, watermelon? They're not so huge that it won't be, like, not a crazy amount of weight. It would be so cool if I can have, like, walking through, on the roof and just seeing, like, instead of pumpkin patch, it would be the different melons. That would be so fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope the bees are gonna do a good job for me. Yeah, the melons we import it, right. But I bet you can actually, yeah, you can grow them the right varieties. Definitely probably the smaller ones that, um, takes, they'll ripen faster, and then get them started indoors. Get a head start. Tastes like soap, interesting. Like some people that think coriander or cilantro tastes like soap. Um, what about watermelon, Jessie girl? Does that taste like soap to you? Hey, Maximite Fox, hello. Sugar apples? No, I don't have sugar apples. I do have friends that have them. Sometimes they share it with me. They, I had one at the old house, started to flower, and then I moved. That one actually grew from seed, from, like, out of the compost. Used to hear that people have to hand pollinate them, like, super early in the morning to increase the chance of them to fruit, but I think if you have them to flower enough, you don't need to do that. Because I know a couple of people that stopped pollinating and they still get, like, abundance of fruits. Definitely worth growing, though. I mean, that's a more pricey, fruit to get even at the farmer's market out here. Kiwi would be kind of fun. That's a vine, right? That'd be kind of fun to grow. Have you guys ever had, like, the golden kiwis, the yellow ones? They're way sweeter than the green. Melon patch would be awesome, I know, I'm super excited about the melons. Because the problem I had growing melons in the past here is that they either even if I try to trellis them, the trellis doesn't they don't get that much sun, so it lacks the sweetness. Once in a while, well, yeah, melons in the more shady gardens, kinda like a hit or miss in terms of flavor. Um, and definitely they're just not gonna be as healthy because 'cause they're just lacking sun. That's just what they love. So the plant tends to weaken. Holy tunnel next week, yeah, grow some exotic items. Like melons, that's right. Melons are cool. I miss growing that African horn melon. That one to me tastes kinda like a sort of like a green ripe tomato, but has, like, a little more green tomato flavor and a little bit of, like, melon. It's interesting. I like them in a sandwich or something, or maybe like a salad, mix it in a dressing. Okay. Let's see what Joe's saying. Sugar apples, will we not an expert on that for, like, cherimoya, because I think they're all related, but there's, like, specific names. What is it, like, sugar apple, custard apples, and cherimoyas, and, um, what is the other one called? Um, ugh, what is that called? And, like, soursop's also related. At the Moya, they're all related, but I think I get confused between, like, cherimoya, sugar apple, and custard apple. They're all those 3 are, like quite similar to me, and I think that's because a lot of people are using these names kinda interchangeably, so I don't even know specifically which is which, but those 3 seem to be very similar to me. The amazing, more like a sweeter butternut squash. Excuse me. Yeah, some varieties are. I'm not familiar with that variety. Tahitian? I don't know that variety. I'll look it up later if I remember. Cilantro tastes like soap, exactly. Some people think that. It's something about how you lack something in your taste or your DNA or something. Certain Chinese don't like cilantro. Cilantro and chives and green onions are like a staple here. It's like such a common for us, like, I think Vietnamese Chinese, it's like a common those are the 2, um, herbs we use, like, almost in everything. Cantaloupe rinds, seeds in my compost, yes. I've got a few fruits and those are the best. Usually, the volunteers are the best because they, 1, they're a surprise, it's kinda fun. 2 is that they generally grow better, I think, survival of the fittest. So, I've had some pretty cool I had a really cool pumpkin variety one time that came out of um, that compost. And I made a lot of food with that for my dog. You know what tastes like soap to me? I think this is, the association of, I once had, like, a lavender milk tea, and, I love the smell of lavender, but lavender, I think it's just probably, like, too much like, I'm, like, brainwashed by commercials, you know? Like, lavender to me is just this very fresh scent that I associate with, like, laundry, like cleanliness, like clean, freshly mopped floors and laundry. So when I had, like, this hot, cup of lavender milk tea, that was probably wasn't very good lavender because I didn't think so when I had lavender jelly, that was amazing, especially that jelly was from, like, an organic like, a small organic lavender farm, but when I had, like, lavender milk tea one time and it was hot, to me, like, I was thinking it like I had just drank soap. Julia's is the taste buds broken. They did say that it's like, if you taste soap from, like, cilantro, it's because you're missing something in your DNA. That's just what I heard. That's okay. There's plenty of herbs out there you can enjoy. Onion cilantro tastes horrible to me. Yeah, now, what about caramelized onions? Is that different for you if you, like, cooked the onions? Excuse me. I love that you guys yeah, you guys are chatty today, I love it. Thank you, Jay. Yep, the gene detects delights on organic compounds. I wish I could make this text a little bigger. Found in cilantro leaves and so interesting, okay. Can't do lavender food either, huh? Now I do love roses. I love roses in any kind of shape and form. Like, I love rose water, even in my food, like, yeah, for some reason, I'm okay with roses, but not so much with lavender. Lavender, I think it has to be, like, really good ones, like I said earlier, the really legit stuff, lavender, jelly from that farm is, it yeah, I don't know why. It's probably the quality of it as well. Soap tea, exactly, right? That's maybe something's missing in my DNA. Saying they're less evolved. No. Yeah, you're not so much of a hybrid. An heirloom. You're an heirloom, that's why. It smacks in the mouth, I show you. You guys ever tried soap nuts, by the way? You mentioned, like, soap, so I love taking those to travel, especially if you have to travel light and, like, say if you don't wanna check anything in, soap nuts such a great way to go. Like, I use that actually really good. It kind of feels like softens your hair. So, like, I use that for washing my clothes and, like, my hair. So soap nuts is kind of a good, like, a quick trip thing I take with me and a mason jar with, like, a strainer on top, and I just put those soap nuts in and like, soak it in water and just pour it out that way and use it. They're great. I haven't tasted them yet. Not encouraging anyone, by the way. I grow both. Yeah, I have the white lavender, I'm really excited about that one. I'm gonna bring that one up to the roof too. That one grows quite big for a lavender. Maybe I should just try one and see how it does, and then if that lavender does well, I think things would like heat-loving stuff should do well up there, like lavender and capers. It's just as long as I get the water up there. But yeah, if I see that it does well, I'm gonna bring like probably I have like three or two or three. Like couple of them didn't make it because there's just not enough sun here. But I have a couple of lavenders that are beautiful. I would love to get them up there. Why are they your enemies? Bodie? Bodie life in the garden. Are you allergic to bees? Yeah, soap nuts are cool. Look it up. I don't have it around with me to show you guys, but it's from a tree. It would be cool to visit that tree one day. I think somewhere in China and in India, they have that tree growing. Yeah, it's a big tree, and these are basically the seeds of that tree. Wait, does that mean I can probably see if there's a one seed intact that I can try to grow it? Yeah, it seems like a fun idea to grow everything, but sometimes it's okay to not grow everything. I don't have room for a tree. See, it said mentioning I recently became an owner of three chickens. Aw, that's so cool. Bring them salads and various scraps. Yeah, and when you have pets, I almost feel like because they are a part of the family, that's how I see it. So it's kind of like having kids, like you're just more motivated to grow food or find like healthier options for them. And then yeah, in return you would also be eating healthier. That's cool. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that, with all the chickens. I used to have pet chickens when I was young, and a couple of them I try to make them do gymnastics. I think they were okay. I don't think I hurt any of them. Recently became an owner ago, I saw that. I was looking at the white lavender seeds. Yeah, but the ones that the lavender variety I really enjoy is that the English lavender, that smell is just it's just sweeter. The French one is, and the Spanish has, like, a stronger oil. Yeah, it just smells heavier. I really enjoy the English lavender. So maybe that's what it is. I think it could be the variety. The lavender jelly I had was from a farm that grew, English lavender. They definitely have a more, like, sweeter scent. You're right, Jay. Yeah, we wanna know what's the issue with lavender. Now that you mentioned. I know, gymnastic chicken. I was a cruel child. I, like, saw the Olympics, and I'm like, "Oh my god, my chickens, maybe they could do some gymnastics too." You can reset your text to be larger. Yeah, Jay, thanks. There's a lot to learn, this live thing. Well, everything just same, goes with everything else. So much to learn. Kung Fu Panda, I love that movie. Yeah, versus gymnastic chickens. Yeah. Yeah, I promise you guys it wasn't the gymnastics that killed them. It was a stray cat that did. So it, mhm. I don't know. Yeah, Marco. I was quite violent to my pets, torturing them doing gymnastics. I'm like, "I think you could do a flip." Chamomile would be good. Ah, oh, try again. Maybe the seeds weren't fresh enough, or chamomile. I think they sprout better if you germinate them like closer to the surface, a little bit of light, or just like a very light dust of soil on top. Don't cover them too deep. I let's see what grows like crazy for me here. Feverfew looks kind of like chamomile. I prefer chamomile scent, but feverfew is another medicinal herb. The flower that you can harvest for tea, and that one grows like a weed for me here. Like the yeah, I wish I had chamomile growing like that. That would be amazing. But they germinate easily too. Yeah, yeah. Maybe chicken sports could be a thing. It probably is in different like some parts in Asia or something. Actually, they do chicken fights. I think fewer of those kind of things now that we have, like, phones and stuff. Everyone's, like, on their phones, but back in the days, they did more like, yeah, like chicken fights. Lots of stuff, actually. Crickets, they were using, they're gambling and bringing, like, crickets to, uh, fight. Yeah, combat. So many varieties of lavender. I know, right? Some are medicinal and culinary. Yeah, rooftop, like Julia Spanish might be a nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna work with the lavenders that I have right now because I think the lower floor, like the ground level, can use a little bit of space. So I'm just going to work with what I have. But eventually, if it does well, lavender is definitely a great addition for the rooftop. It's drought tolerant, like very Mediterranean, and it brings like lots of bees and pollinators. Also, quite a lot of use with lavender, like, "Ooh, maybe I wanna make my own lavender jelly," and those were really tasty. Yeah, T-Brooks asked if it was a stray cat that killed them. Most likely, I mean, if it wasn't a stray, it was a neighbor's cat. Because there was once in a while, like, sometimes I saw that cat going around, and then one day I came home and the chickens were just, like, bloody. And like a bunch of feathers got pulled out and one of them was injured and then the other one was gone, like I just saw some feathers. So most likely that was what happened. Yeah, try a different brand of seeds. Hopefully that would help sometimes. And also yeah, it could just be old too. I know. It's cruel, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, rooster fight, that's what it's called. Yeah. It almost seems to me like I don't know what they do with it. Some like certain fights they really like starve them or something and get them really hungry, so they really go at each other. Let's see if a friend of mine keeps chickens and I yes, cage-free chicken, homegrown are the best, home raised. It's nice you have that luxury, that privilege. That's awesome, Marco. Um, yeah, I don't know enough people that have chickens. I have a friend that does, but usually if, you just people that grow chickens, that raise chickens generally would, like, in the city, would just raise enough where they can have for their family, so, farmers market has something like that, but the quality is definitely not as good as, like a friend's backyard. Didn't know they cut back on it early enough and their centers have all gone woody. I know, the thing with lavender is, try to catch them where, like, don't trim them back too late. Like, after they're done flowering, I forget when the specific time is, but, like, I usually kinda wait, and if I see that there's a little bit of, like, new growth and, like, on the bottom, then I start to trim up the top because that to me is a bit more of a guarantee that the plant would uh, grow back. So you don't want to cut too low. Also, that can also kill the plant. But I like seeing like when there's like a bunch of little growths on the bottom. That's the time when I tell myself, okay, it's time to top off, so that just let the bottom just kind of take over. They do get woody and they're just not as pretty. Yeah, South Florida, and it might have been too hot. Yeah. Julius, are you talking about lavender also, or? Yeah, so I wonder if the rooftops I don't think the rooftops gonna be too hot for the lavender. They're meant to take heat. Mhm. I have, a Spanish, lavender that got quite big, and, it got really woody as well. I planted, I planted a mini rose next to it, and so now that the lavender has died, it's still left the lower, like, the trunk, it's, like, this thick. And it's almost like it's woody, like you said. I can't get rid of it because it's in the space, like, between a raised bed and a fence. So, it's just gonna stay for until whenever it decomposes. Oh, chamomile, right. Gotcha. See, in that case, with rosemary and thyme too. I tried to dig up one of my rosemaries, and it didn't make it. Rosemary can I feel like rosemary is hardier than lavender, though. Thyme. You're right, it is quite similar. I think rosemary is probably the hardiest amongst, like, of the 3, but I think they are quite similar, actually, like, it gets really woody on the bottom, and then you don't wanna prune off way too much. Yeah, I've killed plants like that before, like these plants, so take it from my experience. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna get some tea, it's time for tea. Let's make some getting thirsty. Should I do this so you can kinda see what I'm doing? Oh, you can't really oh, this is the hold on. This is for later. Okay, let's make some tea. Should I do this or should I just do this? Where should I where should I project the camera? Mint, pest. Oh, the pest. Trying to think. There's rarely pests on my thyme, rosemary, or lavender. I think lavender I've had pests before. Like rarely. I think only like one time in its lifetime. I think what were they? What are those like little like white foamy bubbly pests? What are those called? I had that at one time. It was at a different place. It wasn't here. Yeah, so, like, the thing with what lavender is to not cut it back totally. Like, I would say the safe way to go about is that you still prune where up to the point where there's still green. Don't cut it all the way back. Just cut where, like, maybe save, like, a still, like, maybe, like, 3 inches of green. So, like, it yeah, otherwise, usually you end up killing it if you cut it way back. Can only see I can only see you unless you pan down for the tea. Exactly. There you go. All right. So this tea is Jamong wrong. I can't. I'm still learning Vietnamese, but I picked this tea up in like a little tea shop in Vietnam in Hanoi. Uh, what's special about this one is that it's like the super early tea buds from like a tea tree. These trees that are really old. They're probably I think they're like tea trees that are like hundreds of years old, and they're just like the buds in like late winter or early spring when they're just popping up, and they're really fragrant. They smell really fruity, very like stone fruit. Hopefully, have a good time shopping. DLR 978. Gotta get your food. Gotta feed your tummy. Mine passed of an aphid infestation. Oh no. Current bushes and lilies and tree. Oh, that sucks, Marco. Yeah. And the thing about organic gardening is that you have to be consistent with treating. So keep going at it. Some things are definitely more difficult than others, though. For me, pests is usually um, spider mite. That's usually kind of the thing here when it comes to like later in the summer or midsummer, closer to the end of summer, the third quarter of summer. How do you put it? What other pest issues? Once in a while, I get like aphids or mealybugs actually, and like the center of cabbages. And I think scale. Yeah. Evan on the show today said he loved your tea. Oh, yeah, I had a great time chatting with Bevan. Um, Bevan recently just wrote another book, right, Enoch? Bevan's cool. He's funny. I was on his podcast recently, and I sent him a jasmine tea to try, and he loved it. But yeah, okay. I'll circulate around and do the jasmine next time. But right now, I really like this tea. Oh, I can smell already. Teas are interesting. They're like flavored water, and there's just so much layers of like aroma and subtleties that you can like I think appreciate in tea. Leaf miner. Oh yeah, that's a pain. That's a pain. Yeah, see, when you get stuff like that in like citrus, I'm like, at least it's on the leaves, you can cut away. But when it's on like your herbs, when you eat this is the leaf. It's sucks. Leaf miner. Yeah, I'm not. I think there's like some organic sprays that you can get or make your own. I think neem can help with that. Um, but that's actually one of the harder ones for me, at least. Making a special cold sprinkle, sparkling tea cup. I barely ever even drink sodas now, but the only time I do drink it is when I'm in like back in Vietnam with my family, something about when they have, like, seafood, like clams, like, what do you call it? Shellfish? It's like this thing because it's so hot over there, like an ice soda thing is really good. Uh, yeah, like, I grew up having, like, root beer sarsaparilla kind of thing, so I just really enjoy that flavor in particular. Last season was the dreaded slug. Ugh. Just because is it just because there's more moisture now that we're in winter? There was a time when I would go out, Mhm. Like, when it gets really dark, 8, sometimes 10 or even, like, 1 AM, and I would see lots of slugs, and I would just collect them all in a bucket and then, like, feed them to the birds the next morning. Herbs in Every Season is coming out in March. Yeah, you guys should check out Evan's book, Herbs in Every Season. I have a pre-sale link in the show description. Awesome, Enoch. Yeah, share the link. Share the link here if anyone's interested in, herbs in every season. Oh, you just reminded me. You guys, I'm gonna show you a book real quick. Hold on. 1 minute. Actually, 20 seconds. I got this book. You know what? Um, the minute that I actually like, when I learned that actually there's, like, rare veggies in here, I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have this." I'm like, I'm like a maniac for collecting rare plants, so I was really excited wanting to know what kind of, rare things that I don't know about that are in here, I can look up, and, it would be fun to, actually, maybe I should introduce, this is the Seed Hunter book, I think, I wish I went to see his talk, but I was just stuck at my booth at the Heirloom Expo, um, about, like, how, I guess, Mitch supplied these seeds, or supplied, found these seeds, uh yeah, so it'd be fun to grow. I'll look up what I will pick out from this book to grow, possibly. It's a lot more promising when I have the rooftop now, so, stay tuned. You guys will find out what I will be growing uh, in here from here. And another thing that's exciting I'm looking forward to growing is, like, these swirly what do you call them? Swirly beets again. I really love them. And the watermelon looking radishes and stuff. Those are really fun. See, beer might entice the slugs. I have done that. I think I have a really old video showing how to like put beer next to uh, my strawberry patch. Oh, yeah, definitely. I know, poor slugs, but mm, sometimes I'm not that nice, like if like I'm nice until you start picking out my fruits. I'm like, because I think especially because I don't have that many, you know what I mean? Like, if you're growing, like, 20 or 50 of the same plants, it's not as much of a damage, whereas you only have, like, 2 plants or 2 fruits. You know what I mean? Like, it's when there's such a limited of it, you ate 1 out of my 2 plants, that's 50% gone. I like getting lots of root beer stuff, so, I do grow the Mexican root beer plant. I love that, yeah. Those can get really tall, so I'm keeping it in a pot. I wanna grow it in a raised bed, but it's gonna turn to a tree. I mean, it's not gonna be woody, but it's gonna be way too tall eventually. I love all that smell. I don't American root beers. I think when it comes to American root beers, it has to be the really old school stuff that comes in, like, those vintage shape, like those glass jars. I think leaf miner can be using yeah. We try to avoid using BT, but if you have to, you gotta save your plants. Yeah, BT. There you go, yeah. That's the one that usually is, the last, like, if you can't get rid of it, use the BT. Um, wasn't hun the seed hunter was supposed to be yeah, I don't know, I think things didn't probably their schedule conflict or something. Hopefully, he'll be able to, get him on the show next time. That'll be interesting because especially if I missed his talk, it would be interesting to hear what he has to say about, um, yeah, in general. Okay, here's my tea. Not a whole lot of color yet. Enoch, someone's, like, noticing who's on your show, that's awesome. And who do you got tomorrow? Callie Kim, right? This is so, like, much like Plum. Crazy. Do I make root beer I tried, I mean, it's not legit. I have soaked the root beer plant leaves in the hot water, and then I added, uh, what's that called? Sparkling water and honey to it. So, it did remind me of root beer, but obviously it's not the same. But I am thinking I can try something new, like, say, kinda like a kombucha kind of a thing where they ferment, ginger, like ginger water and sugar or honey or something, like, to feed the ginger bug, or is it called ginger bug? I'm not sure what it's called, but anyway, you just feed that ginger water, like sugary water, and it just becomes like a soda. It's very carbonated. So I was thinking of doing that and then adding those root beer root beer plant leaves to flavor it. Hopefully, that would make it more similar. It's tough when you're like, I really respect Enoch for what he's doing. Like I told him, you like running a show that like to bring guests on is a lot of work, a lot of organizing, and a lot of like, talking to people in between. And then obviously everyone is so busy doing all like everything else. So it's hard to it's a lot of work, let's just put it that way. Sadly, I haven't had any here in central Mexico. It's produced in Chiapas. Oh, okay. Hold on, I might sneeze.